The Roth IRA might seem like the simplest retirement account out there. Tax-free growth, tax-free withdrawals, what's not to love? But there's something called the 5-year rule that trips up a lot of retirees, and it could cost you. I'm Cary, financial advisor and co-founder of Green Era Financial, and I help people close to or in retirement to get the most out of life with their money. And today I want to clear up one of the most misunderstood parts of Roth IRA rules, the 5-year rule. And actually, there are two different 5-year rules, and they work differently depending on how you fund your Roth. So let's go over it. So let's start with the simpler one. If you've been contributing directly to a Roth IRA over the years, the 5-year clock starts on January 1st of the first year you made a contribution, not the specific date you deposited the money. Once that clock starts, any earnings on your contributions become tax-free once you hit two conditions. You've held the account for at least 5 years and you're age 59 and a half or older. That 5-year requirement is in place to make sure the Roth IRA is being used as a true retirement vehicle, not just a tax loophole. If you made your first contribution back in, say, 2020, even if it was December 31st, 2020, the clock started January 1st of that year. So that means your 5-year rule would be satisfied by January 1st of this year. After that, assuming you're 59 and a half or older, all the growth in your account can be withdrawn tax-free. Not just the contributions themselves, which are always accessible, but also the earnings, which is a huge benefit. Now, let's get into the more complicated one, the 5-year rule for Roth conversions. This rule applies separately to each conversion you do, and here's the kicker. It's not about earnings, it's about the principal, the converted amount itself. So let's say you converted $50,000 from a traditional IRA to a Roth IRA in 2022. That $50,000 needs to stay in that Roth for at least 5 years before you can withdraw it penalty-free, unless you're already 59 and a half or older at the time you take it out. Otherwise, you could owe a 10% early withdrawal penalty on that converted amount, even though you already paid income tax on it when you converted. This rule exists to prevent people from using Roth conversions as a quick way to access retirement funds early without penalty. And the fact that each conversion has its own separate 5-year clock, that catches a lot of people off guard. If you do a conversion every year for 5 years, you're tracking 5 separate holding periods. That's a lot to manage, especially without good records. Now, once you hit age 59 and a half, that penalty risk goes away for conversions totally. But if you're younger than that and using Roth conversions to set yourself up for the future, it's really important to know where each dollar came from and when you can access it. So how does this trip up retirees? Well, here's what often can happen. Let's say you're 60 years old and you open a brand new Roth IRA and then convert $100,000 from your traditional IRA over to this new Roth IRA. Then let's say by the end of the year, that $100,000 has grown to $110,000. Now, if you want to withdraw funds from this account in retirement, you can withdraw the original converted amount of $100,000 tax and penalty free. But the $10,000 of earnings would be taxed as ordinary income because you haven't satisfied the 5-year rule for that Roth account. So how do you avoid all of this? Well, first, you start a Roth IRA as early as possible, even with a small contribution, to get that 5-year clock started. You don't have to contribute every year for the clock to keep ticking. Once it starts, it keeps running, and that's key to unlocking tax-free growth down the road. Second, be strategic with conversions. If you're under 59 and a half years of age and doing Roth conversions, try to avoid withdrawing those funds for at least 5 years. Keep them in place and treat them as long-term tax-free growth. If you think you'll need some of that money before 5 years are up, consider creating a conversion ladder and spacing out smaller conversions each year. That way a portion becomes penalty-free each year going forward. Third, keep good records. Roth IRAs follow a specific ordering rule when you take money out. Contributions come out first, then conversions, then earnings. That ordering can help you avoid penalties, but only if you know what part of the account you're withdrawing from. Most custodians do not break this out automatically on statements, so you'll want to keep a spreadsheet or log of your own if you're doing multiple conversions or planning to withdraw soon. Also, remember that Roth 401ks follow slightly different rules, And rolling over a Roth 401k into a Roth IRA can impact the timing of the 5-year clock if you haven't already started one. These are small technicalities, but they can have real financial impact. So to recap, there are 2 different 5-year rules, one for contributions and one for conversions. They serve different purposes and have different consequences. The contribution rule affects whether your earnings are tax-free, and the conversion rule affects whether your converted dollars could get hit with a penalty. So knowing how they work and planning around them can help you to avoid surprise taxes or penalties in retirement. Start your clocks early, keep good records, and make sure you don't withdraw converted funds before they're fully ready to be withdrawn tax and penalty free. And if you're thinking about doing a Roth conversion or planning to tap into your Roth IRA soon, it's worth having a strategy that takes both 5-year rules into account. So if you'd like help putting that strategy together, you can always feel free to reach out to me directly. I'm always happy to help if I can. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.